Hey folks, BENTHELOONEY here. It's time for another edition of Video Game Memories. Growing up as a gamer, I found myself very fascinated with the games that came a generation before me. There's just something addictive and charming about the simple games from the golden age 8-bit era of video games. One of my favorite classic games was the run and gun series, Rockman, known in the US as Megaman. I was introduced to the Megaman franchise when a friend who I talked to on a forum in the late 2000s said it was his favorite gaming franchise. His enthusiasm for the games inspired me to check them out. Before buying classic games on virtual consoles like you kids do nowadays, we had to go out and find the hardware and play the games the old-fashioned way. But I didn't have the time and money to track down every Mega Man game for the NES, so I instead picked up the Mega Man Anniversary Collection for my GameCube. Got it at the right time as my local Family Video had it on sale for $8. $8 for 8 games? What a deal. So I took the game home and was ready to experience Mega Man for the first time. Where better to start with than the first Mega Man? For those of you unaware, the Mega Man series is the brainchild of director Akira Kitamura and artist Keiji Inafune, and was ambitious for its time as it gave you the option to pick your own path on how you wanted to progress in the game. It gave you the option to pick from 6 stages, and at the end of each stage is a boss, or Robot Master as they're called. After defeating each Robot Master, you inherit a new ability that you then can use throughout the other stages. This sets the Mega Man series apart from other action games, as instead of killing enemies and hoping that your gun gets upgraded, you get to choose when you use your favorite weapon. Of course, it runs out of ammo quickly, but you're able to replenish it. I've always been a sucker for games that allow you to inherit abilities from the enemies you defeat. That's why the Kirby franchise is one of my favorite game series. We'll get to that one sometime. But, like classic games from the time period, they were made much more difficult to make up for the lack of length in the games. Mega Man is no stranger to a challenge, but the more you play the games, the more you get used to them. People were quick to complain about how the GameCube version of the Anniversary Collection switched the jump and fire buttons. Well, it never bothered me. Once you get used to it, it's fine. People sure love to complain, don't they? That being said, the first Mega Man game was lots of fun, and I became a fan instantly. I couldn't wait to play the rest. My love of the series was soon sent sky high when I played Mega Man 2. It took everything that was great about the previous and expanded on it. This game had 2 more Robot Masters to defeat, introducing the series standard of 8 bosses. The challenge was increased, the weapons were juiced up, and the overall fun factor made the first one look like a kid's game. Also, the music. Some of the best ever. It's music that I'm playing right now as this video plays out. What's even more impressive is Mega Man 2 was made by the same team as the first Mega Man, but they worked on it on their free time after their day jobs on other Capcom games. That's unbelievable. Just goes to show where dedication and passion for what you love will get you. Mega Man 2 set the bar high for the franchise, a bar that would be hard for the rest of the games to live up to. I got a little worried. I'd already found my favorite in the series, and I was only on the second game. However, I had faith in Akira Kitamura and crew, so I continued to make my way through the other games in the series. I got the same amount of fun that I did in the previous games out of them. New abilities and power-ups were added to help break up the monotony of the games repeating the same basic formula. I didn't expect less from the franchise, but I found myself starting to see patterns. I'd say by Mega Man 5, the crew were starting to run out of ideas, as I remember 5 and 6 being incredibly easy. Too easy for Mega Man standards. I still love the games, but I found myself starting to get bored with them. Well, at this point in my playthroughs, I still had 2 more games to finish. Surely they would bring back the level of love and fun I had with the first 2 games. Mega Man 7. This marked the Mega Man's jump to the 16-bit era, and it showed. The game had a more anime influence to it as the colors and design of the characters were heightened to be prettier looking. That's a good thing about it. The game looks beautiful, but I think its charm ends with its visual style. Mega Man 7 was the first Mega Man game that I was truly disappointed with. I read the game was worked on for a very limited time before release. It shows. The action was slowed down. The satisfaction you got from destroying enemies in the other games in the series was lost, as this game felt more floaty. I love the designs of the Robot Masters, but I could tell they were starting to run out of ideas. Freeze Man, an ice robot, haven't seen that before. Turbo Man, oh, a transformer, that's creative. Junk Man. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't fault the team for having to reuse some ideas and come up with stuff out of the box. If I were to make 7 games in a franchise, I'd run out of ideas too. I also noticed that the challenge from the other games was lost. Except for the final fight with Dr. Wily. I could never beat him. Dag nab, they really juiced him up. So Mega Man 7 is a game that a lot of fans still hold fondly, but I personally couldn't get into it. I felt the franchise was starting to run dry at this point, and with one more game left to play in the Anniversary Collection, I felt I couldn't get much lower. Mega Man 8 was an improvement over Mega Man 7. The action was picked up once again, making destroying enemies a lot more fun. The graphics were enhanced to look prettier, and the game is much more colorful than the previous game. That being said, I still felt this game didn't live up to the first 2 games. This is another one I was unable to beat, as I always die at this one part in the game where you're going so fast on a snowboard or something that you have to do what the directions on the screen tell you to do. For some reason, whenever I had to make this long jump, I never made it and always died. It got to the point where I gave up and didn't even bother finishing the game. Once again, the Robot Masters were showing signs of being derivative. Tengu Man? The hell's a Tengu? Frost Man? Another ice robot? Aquaman? I smell a lawsuit here. However, some of them were creative. I remember liking Clown Man, Astro Man, and Search Man. So, Mega Man 8 definitely restored my faith in the series. But this was sadly the last game in the Anniversary Collection, so I ran out of Mega Man games to play. It wasn't long until I found out Mega Man 9 was released on the Wii Virtual Console. Unfortunately, I didn't have a Wii at the time, and when I did, I didn't have Wi-Fi to set up the Wii Virtual Console, but I was happy to see that Capcom was going back to Mega Man's roots and brought back the 8-bit graphics, and fans and critics welcomed the throwback. It led to Mega Man 10 being released 2 years later, again to positive reviews. And so far, this is the last release in the classic Mega Man series. Now, this isn't the only Mega Man series I was exposed to. Capcom has the tendency to make spin-off series of their already existing franchises. Mega Man is no exception. The 90s introduced the Mega Man X series. I remember renting the Mega Man X collection for the PS2 from my local video store. I had lots of fun with the first 2 games, but the series went downhill as it continued. Mega Man is known for its fast-paced action, but the X series started to take that away by slowing down the gameplay and adding more dialogue and storylines. I'm all for adding elements to prevent a franchise from going stale, but I think they went a little overboard there. After that, that's all the Mega Man I was exposed to. I never played the Legends, Zero, or Battle Network series of the franchise, so I pretty much was familiar with the 2 essentials. The Mega Man franchise has gone through some ups and downs, but the ups vastly outnumber the downs. I'd be quick to say Mega Man 2 is one of my favorite games ever made. While I'm not the gamer I once was, I wouldn't hesitate to pick up and play the game again if I ever got the chance. The Blue Bomber will always have a place in my heart. That'll do it for this video. Have you folks played any of the Mega Man games? Share your memories of the franchise with me in the comments below. Until next video, take it easy fam!